Good morning. Welcome to Morning Expresso. You're watching Indian Express. I'm Charulata Biswas. Let's begin your day with a big story. Hours after Russian President Vladimir Putin signed decrees to recognize Ukraine's regions of Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics as independent, India made its strongest statement so far. It expressed deep concern over the escalation of tension along the Russia-Ukraine border, but did not condemn Russia's actions and decision to send troops to Ukraine. Significantly, its statement did not use the words territorial integrity and sovereignty, which it usually deploys in the context of China's aggressive behavior. Putin's decision to deploy Russian troops into the Luhansk People's Republic and Donetsk People's Republic is being viewed as bringing Russia and the US-European alliance closer to war. We take a look at the history of the troubled region, its connections with Russia, and what the recognition signals to the West. Meanwhile, without explicitly mentioning the Russia-Ukraine conflict, PM Modi, while addressing an election rally in UP's Bahraich, said the world is in turmoil and that India needs to be stronger not just for itself, but for the entire humanity. Tough times need tough leaders, he said. Here are the stories you'll find only in Indian Express. Pratap Bhanu Mehta writes on the hijab debate and how it is being used to institutionalize state cruelty. The important thing from a public point of view is that it does not on its own interfere with any project of civic empowerment. It does not interfere with education, holding a job, voting, participating in public life, or achieving anything in life. To therefore use it as a pretext for disqualifying someone from teaching or going to college is a travesty, he writes. Let's have a look at the front page. The wearing of hijabs is a right that falls under freedom of expression, which is subject to institutional discipline and not under freedom of religion in the Constitution. The Advocate General for Karnataka argued on Tuesday during a hearing in the High Court on petitions filed by Muslim girls against the hijab ban in some colleges in Udupi in Karnataka. With army recruitment drives on hold, dozens of aspirants in UP's Kotwa village seek solace together during their routine morning runs. Meanwhile, they wait on not even applying for other jobs, turning up at the ground every morning, touching its soil to their forehead before starting the day, hailing each other with the army greeting, Jai Hind, and on Diwali, crafting a map of India out of diyas and colors. The scenes play out in village after village here morning and evening. You can read the article in Indian Express. Here are the must-reads. For many paddy farmers from UP's Banda district located in the parched Bundelkhand region, making it to the polling booth on voting day seems unlikely. Several have been waiting outside paddy procurement centers to sell their crops for days. More than losing out on a chance to exercise their franchisee, the farmers spoke to the Indian Express to say they were worried about not being able to sell their crop before the procurement season concludes on February 28. There is no system in place or any manager who can see what farmers are going through, said Rati Ram, a farmer from Tinwari. For Keshav Prasad Maurya, Deputy Chief Minister in the Yogi Adityanath government, it's a high-stakes battle in Sirathu, an assembly seat in UP's Kaushambi district where caste equations have traditionally held the key. Dominated by the three Ps, Pasis, Patels and Pandits. Maurya, the party's OBC face, knows a win here is crucial to his political career, notwithstanding the party's performance in the rest of the state. 2 years since the Northeast Delhi riots, children who lost their parents in the violence are still coming to terms with the loss. While some families are dealing with emotional scars, others are in dire financial conditions. At Ghaziabad's Loni, just across the border from Northeast Delhi, IIT Delhi research scholar Asif Mujtaba started Sunrise Public School with a special Smile curriculum to help children from riot-hit families cope with their trauma. Pramod Bhagat went all the way to Paris to fall in love with his weakest link. All his life, the Tokyo Paralympics gold medalist shuttler in S3 category has worked every remaining muscle of his body to compensate for a disability in his left leg. brought on by polio. Never had the four-time world champion been told that his perennially protected leg ought not to be shielded, but launched into attack while lunging. I normally underutilize my left leg because I know it's weak and affected, but Coach Mike there told me that I can and should start taking training load on the left leg, he said. And in today's Delhi Confidential, senior Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is set to travel to UP for campaigning. His absence from the campaign for the first 4 phases of the election had surprised many in the party. Rahul traveled to Goa, Manipur and Uttarakhand and made several trips to Punjab but stayed away from Uttar Pradesh so far. And finally, in today's episode of the Three Things podcast, we discuss the Lakhimpur Kheri violence and its effect on voters of the region. We also discuss Anis Khan's death and the recent statement by Lankan Tamil parties. That's a news wrap from my end. For the latest updates, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, The Indian Express. Thank you for watching.